New from Westall Wagon Works, the workshop inspection pits, short and long. And don't forget to use PTTT120 at checkout to claim your 5% on all online TT120 orders. Hi, Chris here at PTTT120 and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk TT. You will see that Greg isn't with us. He's fortunately for Greg, he's gone on a southern holiday. He's left the Outer Hebrides and gone to Northern Ireland for those sunny climes. Right, we'll be chatting with Chris and Chris. I went down to actual Westall Wagon Works to have a little visit as well. So we'll have a bit of a chat with Chris and Chris, talk about Westall Wagon Works, where they came from, where they're going. And then we'll also have a bit of a run around the shop. And we'll be having a look at their big fantastic layout they've got there, which I hope at one day they'll put some TT120 on in the background or something. I don't know. There's a little cameo from our John JMC, the guru of sound. He's testing some of his new sound files, having a bit of fun. Anyway, see you at the end. Pre-order now from Malx Models, approved stockist of Revolution Train's new TT120 range.
Hello, Brett here from Malx Models. We have all your TT120 needs from Hornby, Pico. Also, we are the exclusive stockist of Westall Wagon Works TT120 range.
Hi guys, let's can you the Chris's. Can you introduce yourselves, please?
So good morning, I'm Chris Bauer. I'm one of the directors of Westall Wagon Works.
And I'm Chris Hunt, and I'm the other one.
Now, guys, I think what people would, be really interested to know is the fact that you guys really haven't been around. Well, Westall Wagon Works itself hasn't actually been around very long, has it? So when did you guys get started, and what was the idea behind it?
So we got started with me. Chris and I were talking via YouTube chats, and I had a layout in my shed, and I was very frustrated that my HSTs and 00 gauge would not run in both directions up helixes. So I started playing with magnets by cutting hooks off tension locks and sticking a magnet on the end of the D, and it worked. And then Chris said, I've got a 3D printer in the shed somewhere, we might be able to make you some.
And just briefly to explain, the reason why you have issues pushing tension locks up is because obviously the lock's no longer.
Well, there's several issues. One of them is overriding. The other issue is where couplings hump, where they move apart and contract, and that can occasionally cause random uncoupling. The other thing is aesthetics. So things don't look as pleasing. So especially when you've got gaps like this that aren't required. So you can make your HST or coacher set or wagons, etc., look much more realistic. Yeah. Really. The other thing is ease of uncoupling, especially with people, there's elderly people as well that struggle with things like tension lock, especially for children and people coming into the hobby. The more simple it is, the more chance they're going to play with it, and they're going to keep working with the railway and expand.
After we started, we had a lot of phone calls from people that had got Parkinson's or had a stroke thanking us because they could actually play with their railways again, which was quite. Yeah. But Chris said after we made these couplings, Chris said maybe other people might buy them, and I said, "Don't be silly.
Yeah. We can commercialise it." And now we're over I think it's just over 1.3 million now out there. Couplings.
Okay, so when is it? Just remind us about that first time you sent out a press release to a few YouTubers, I guess.
No, it was actually the start was, yes, it was in YouTubers. There was Dave from Dean Park Station, and there was also Richard of New Junction, who at that point worked at Hornby magazine. Both of their efforts helped us launch the products. We also had a platform on Facebook and a following, just over 6,000 followers, luckily, because previously I had an exhibition layout called Westall Wagon Works, hence the company name. And we had a platform there. We did a live stream one night.
On one of my next questions.
So it's fine. So we did a live stream one evening. It was about 3 hours long, wasn't it? Where we introduced the products, and that was in your shed, wasn't it?
That was in my shed.
Yeah, that was a late night. That was.
And we asked the two YouTubers to just review them and give an honest opinion, and not release until midday on February the 14th, 2020.
You know the date's better than me. So
that is crazy that we're looking at just over 4 years.
yeah, it's just over 4 years now, and from there we've expanded. The coupling range has expanded to over, I think it's over 140 couplings now, different types, because we were catered for all the older stuff. There's a lot more still to come, as well as all the multiple gauges. And just with all the products and all the line side products, there's just over 900 products now in our range.
That is quite fantastic.
So we're keeping expanding. There's a lot more to come this year. There's a lot to come.
So you've not
TT as well.
You've not run out of ideas then.
No, not at all. It's keeping up. That's the big thing, because it's obviously as you're aware. Obviously, we have to design the product, make sure it works correctly, test it. We send some out samples, etc. Then it's released. When it's released, we have to then keep up with that product as well as keep up with the demand we're getting for previous products. So we're having to obviously keep things going, as well as then, right, let's get on to the next set of products.
Talking about demand, have you had a lot of feedback from people about what they want?
Yes.
Yes.
We have to sit down. People say we want this product, but we have to sit down and say, well, is it going to sell? Basically, because if it's not viable, what's the point of us spending hundreds of hours doing a product and we only sell a couple of them? It has to be something that we think will sell across the range.
Because I know people have an idea that 3D printing is just about pressing a button.
I really wish.
There's a lot more.
I really wish.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work that goes into designs. A lot of the time is research and design. So like some of the locomotive power units that we've done, and some of the future ones that are coming as well. We're out there. We go at 2-3 visits, and we're out there measuring up, photo and everything else. We don't just sit there 3D scan something thing. We draw everything from scratch, and it's all done in house, as well as that in future projects. And doing things, for example, for TT, etc. We can't just go 00 and let's shrink it. It doesn't happen. I'm afraid it doesn't work like that. I really wish it did. So every time we do something like the 37 power unit, we had to redraw that for 00 O gauge. We did it in gauge 1, and then we have to do it for TT and N as well. For each and every product, it's not just, here's one design, let's make it bigger, let's make it smaller. Because obviously there's the factors into how it prints, wall thicknesses, etc., making sure that the product, so it cures correctly. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, and you've got issues with, once you start shrinking something down to a point where the component is thinner than a supporting.
Yes.
Then you have issues removing it.
Technology's moved on since we started vastly, especially some of the commercial machines now. And like I said, we've got a wide selection of machines. There's just over 60 machines now. And technology's moved on a lot, which has helped us do further things. So at the minute, we're experimenting with small things like, I don't know, one that we have in our range that's quite common, cats and rabbits. We're experimenting with that for TT, etc. It's minute, but the detail needs to still be there. Yeah. People to obviously, and it's acceptable.
And it's got to print reliably.
Yeah.
Printing one thing and then printing 1,000 things is a whole different game.
Yeah,
definitely.
There's also there's the practicality. You've actually got to get it done within a certain timescale for it to actually.
We are
keep within a decent price.
Yes, definitely. That does matter. So obviously we try to keep everything cheap as possible, and that's what we've done since day one. And that's the way we're going. We're more bothered about obviously make sure it's cheap as possible. People can afford it, and they want to build their layout of different things. So we'll keep always being that way. Just making sure that the products are.
I'll give you an example. So a power unit. You're talking 200 hours sat behind a computer screen before any prototype print.
And who's doing that work? Is it still you guys, or have you got?
There's a mixture. We've got members of the team that help out. Obviously, there's Dave a lot. There's myself. There's bits with Chris. Everything. Everyone puts bits into every project at this place.
Yeah, I think it's quite noticeable when you visit here. This is my second or third time I've been here, and when you visit guys at shows. The same faces.
Yes.
It's not like you've got a marketing crew.
No. There's so there's 8 in the team at the minute, and each person has a knowledge. You can go to, there's Josh upstairs, etc. There's Kieran, there's Ian, etc. And each of us know about the product ranges. We all know when a product comes out, we're all interested. We know what it is, how it's made, what's happening. So it's not just one person knows about the project. They all contribute to it.
Does that help you arm yourselves against the river councils?
No, well, generally,
having a bit of product knowledge.
I've got to be honest. I just wish, obviously, thank the public that do buy from us, because we do have a lot of good feedback. We don't really get much at all. We try to get it right first, and yes, sometimes things take a little bit longer, etc. So we've got releases of some of the upcoming projects that you know about, stuff like that. Yes, it's going to take a little bit longer. But we want it so it's right, and I'm just grateful for the feedback and the custom we do get.
Yeah,
It's busy every day. We're shipping several hundred orders out a week, and it keeps going.
I guess you guys also have to, your range has to reflect what's been brought out by other companies as well, so
Yes.
you can accommodate them. Because I notice, for example, everyone loves your new catenary system, and I think there's quite a few people who would like them, so they're 120 Pico fixed trains and ice trains can run underneath them. But that's obviously an even smaller share of a very small market, which is 120.
Not necessarily, because it's not what the share of the market. It could arrive sooner than people think, because it's not what share the market is at the minute. It's what share the market's going to be in the future.
Yeah,
that's the way you've got to look at it. So not going, oh, there's nothing out from Hornby or whoever else. Maybe I believe Revolution joined in and got Pico as well with TT120. Yes, there's nothing at the minute. They're electric. Doesn't mean there won't be in a year's time.
So you are proactively trying to talk to, wherever possible, those other companies to find out what other companies may or may not.
Companies have been really good with us, actually. There's one of the best, one great ones is a Curascale, and it's things like that. You can get things ready, so when a product launches, it's not just the customer buys that exact product. There's a whole range of stuff to go with it as well.
Yeah.
So this was a good point of launch of TT120 back in October 22, is it? Am I correct?
Yeah,
I have to check on that.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was October 20.
Pico was June.
Pico was June. We had the stuff ready. It was all ready for launch at October when Hornby launched TT120.
Yeah.
And then, so when people bought the LOCO'S, they got the track from Pico, etc. And then they got all the layout accessories from ourselves. We had everything. We had bits ready for them.
Yeah.
And so people were actually able to start making layouts.
We even had a diorama set up in the front of the cabinet.
We had a
diorama.
Was that a guess?
22,
22,
isn't it? Yeah. So
people wonder what we were doing.
Because we didn't actually launch it for the Monday.
No, they didn't launch it till the Monday. Actually, yeah.
There was no way Pico were going to produce track without something being afoot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's when we thought, right, we need to do something here. We'll put some. I think we did 30 products.
36, I think it was
36
exactly. Yeah,
products.
just on launch day.
Line side, station, workshop,
just give people things like signals, etc.
Yeah.
And
but we didn't sell many.
it wasn't about that. The stuff was ready, but the boom has definitely come within TT. We've seen it overtaken other established gauges, and the main thing is we're starting to see more and more people with the layouts expand with it.
Yeah.
And it's doing really well. There's a lot more to come for it. We're not stopping by any means with TT, or we're not stopping with any of the gauges. But TT's been a great addition. It's not very often you get a new gauge come into the hobby.
Yeah.
So
it's something that I was confused about at the time, but now it kind of makes sense to me now. But I'm wondering whether you guys had crystal balls or something, because when I first came across you guys, it was Doncaster 23.
Yes.
In February 23. Okay. And you were the only people with any TT120 content in the whole of that show.
Yes.
And it was like a small part of your big display, maybe about a foot deep or something. But it was, and you had a nice little display all painted up, which I videoed at the time. But I'd noticed then that it was stuff that seemed to be more appropriate for, I don't know, Era 7 up. And at the time I was thinking, well, everything that's come out so far is Era 3 and 4. What are they doing? Where's all the old stuff? And then subsequently, since then, it seems like you had a crystal ball, because it's all that stuff that's sold really well in TT120. It's the BR and up that seems to be taking off more so than the older steam. Although there's still people.
Well, it will. You've got to look at the generations that people are modelling, because the way you've got to think about it is TT is a great starting gauge, absolutely great. It doesn't take up too much room. The detail's still there. The new innovation, things like HM7000, etc., how it's running, is all there. It's all set up, and the people that are going into it, you've got to look at the obviously the age range for it. But most people tend to model what they remember.
Yeah.
So for me, mine's early 90s, late 90s, etc. For Chris, it's 80s, is it?
BR Blue.
Yeah, blue 80s, and that's where your interest peaks. Because obviously a lot of rowing modelling is bringing back memories.
Yeah, and on my memories of that for the first time as a 10-year-old getting a train into London with my mates, it was on a 313.
Yeah,
and
things like that. It's not where obviously generation time moves on. They understand these people with it, but the people that going back to the steam memories, the way we looked at it, going back to things like the steam era, generally already working in the hobby.
Yeah.
TT is a great introduction to the hobby, and it's a great not just introduction; it's a great continuation as well because of what's coming.
If I was going to start model railways now, I'd go TT 120.
Yeah.
So I could have everything.
Well, that's it. The collector in me means that if you're going to collect something,
yes,
you start at the beginning.
There's no way you could do it with any other gauge.
No.
Yeah.
No. Be a multi-millionaire.
That's right, and you won't have the space. But now you can start at the beginning and build it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great draw for people.
Yeah.
A new gauge, and just do it.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to do it.
Well, you're too busy here, aren't you?
Yeah, we're too busy. Shamefully, obviously, we always had interest in model railways, and everyone pretty much here has.
Yeah.
But shamefully now we're spending more time production than we get to even play with the layout or anything else.
We both have one layout between us now, and it's in there.
Yeah, it's a handsome piece of kit as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done still.
A lot of it's been done already.
Yeah.
And a lot to do.
A lot to do. There's a lot to do on it. But our main thing in the daytime and stay time is keeping orders going out and keeping new products coming along. But the layout, it will get done over time. Customers come down and play with it. There's people in there at the minute.
I don't know if you're aware, but the idea is that people can come and bring their own stock and play if they wish.
I knew that you had, as I've seen it on various other channels, I knew you had this cracking double helixes and that you had some really good stuff to do. I didn't realise that you were actually, almost inviting people to come along and bring.
Come along, bring some stock.
We've got plenty of stock here, but people, if they want to test something or anything else,
for my punches, are you going to put a little back rail in there somewhere with a little TT 120 line on?
We are going to do something.
Yes.
Right.
So yes, we are going to do something. Getting time, but we will do it.
And will that be something that maybe is more flexible, so you can take it to a show or something?
Could be possible. I don't know yet.
Could be.
I don't know on that one.
Yeah.
So we're starting to like things when we get into shows now. We've had to get bigger show stands now, haven't we? We've got 600 square foot later this year at a show, just because we're running out of room to take the stock. We want to take as much as we can, so people can go, oh, I want that, because everyone's different.
Everyone knows where West Hall Wagon Works is when they walk into a show, because there's like a red glow,
and
about 200 people.
We're
all waiting their turn. To get to that rack,
we've had to, the rack's changing. We've had to custom build. We're getting a rack custom built at the minute, just so we can expand a bit more in.
Because I could well imagine that in your old way of doing it, a lot of labour getting it on your wagons, getting it off your wagons.
We have all the members of staff, every product. So we take a lot of stock with us. So if we take a range, generally it's around 700-800 products with us, and there's 30 to 50 of each of them products. It soon starts to mount. There's a lot of we have like all 8 of us stacking stuff up and getting everything all ready. It's a lot of work for a show. And some shows we're setting up 2 days before. And it's been getting harder and harder, and we've got new.
Wally last year was 10 hours. 10 hours to set
10 hours, and then the second day.
And I know I am fully aware that a lot of shows can't accommodate that amount of time for a setup.
No. And your next big show is that the new not Wally?
No, we have.
No, we've got quite a few.
So we've got the big Engage show coming up.
Right.
Tings.
Yeah. Tings.
We've got a very good show.
Stafford.
We've got Stafford coming up, which is we'll be taking a range of everything.
Yeah.
30 foot by 8 foot stand.
Yeah. And after that is Getz, isn't it? Great Electric Train Show.
Great Electric Train Show, which was our debut show
That was our first show
3 years ago.
We tend to, so we've got a lot of releases.
It's bonkers. It's only 3 years ago. So.
That's 3 years ago. Time flies.
This will be our 4th time it gets.
Yeah, 4th. Yeah, will be. And each time we're going to expand. And then at the end after that, we've got there's the one at Gaydon, isn't it? The Great British Monorailway Show, and then there is the New Warner, as we call it.
Yeah. Have you been well received within that kind of that community? Because it was an eye opener to me that when I actually went to a show just before opening to realise that everyone was talking to each other.
Yeah.
So that you're all secretly sort of mates.
We'll talk to each other. We'll have a drink in the evenings.
In some areas, but
you've got
a lot of us go out for a drink afterwards.
Yeah.
We all get on great.
A lot of us have a drink during the show.
Who drinks the most? Is it Richard?
No, probably me.
No, Chris. That'll be Chris. No, at the end of the day, we do shows for 2 reasons. 3 reasons actually. Number 1 is an introduction to the public that haven't seen us.
Yeah.
Number 2 is people are able to talk to us and get the products that they want rather than going online or visiting a store. So we obviously, because shows are scattered throughout the country, it's easier for people. And the other reason, we enjoy them.
Yeah.
As a company, we really enjoy them. A lot of the show hosts are absolutely brilliant. Yeah. We get on great with other companies as well. We can go out, have a drink. We spend time together in the evening, whichever, or have a laugh throughout the day.
When I've videoed you guys at shows, they're always grinning like fish.
Yeah,
like you're all
we got
happy
that
as Larry, and like, I'm not quite sure you give them all happy pills, but
no,
it seems to be happy to be there.
We've got a great selection of staff, and each of them know various different aspects.
It's a great team, and it works well in all aspects of the business,
so
including morale.
Yeah. You have to. We do it. Yeah. We do it because we enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's the reason, and that makes any kind of career or anything more enjoyable. 100%. And time flies, as we know.
When you get 5 minutes to have a little wander around some of the fine scale layouts of some of the shows, do you like spotting your stuff?
Yes, it is quite. It's quite. Best way of saying it.
I don't know what the word is. I know what you're
A
saying.
little pat on the back.
Yeah. It's great, and it's great to see people. So many people using things like the coupling system, depot details, line side. You walk by and you just catch things.
Yeah.
You see it in magazines, etc. as well.
Yeah.
And
something I've noticed in shows, they go couplings here. So in the short term, the amount of time that we've been going to shows, a lot of the layouts that have most of their stock cleared a couple of hours before the end of the show. Because it takes so long to get the stock off.
Yeah.
The layouts with our couplings on leave all the stock on.
They're just dun,
and it's off in no time. And that is a massive. It's huge.
We get a lot of layouts come up to us at shows, don't we? A lot, and usually one of us are wandering around, go around helping them out, fitting couplings, etc. on shows.
I remember when I first started this YouTube malarkey, one of the subscribers said, "Chris, can you put all your stock on?" Because I made this sort of 4-lane test track for all the Hornby stuff on it, and put all your stuff on, and I started putting it out. An hour and a half later, I'd only got half of it on. I'll be asked to do this. I'm not doing that video.
Yeah, make it enjoyable. At the end of the day, it's a hobby there to enjoy it, and anything we can do to help it go along, and just make it interesting. It's great to see some of the layouts out there. They're absolutely fascinating, especially things you see. So because times moved on, obviously back in the 90s, everyone's layouts, you either saw them at shows or you saw them at magazines. Now you're seeing things on social media, how people are putting their layouts together, etc. You had none of that years ago. Things have moved on, and it does help the hobby expand and new people come into it.
Going back to the couplings, I know that myself, and I know a number of people use yours in a combination with the Daypole Easy Shunts. So we have Daypole Easy Shunts on our LOCO'S and at the end of our trains and at the end of our triplets.
Yes.
And we have the magnets in between because it's easier to take that stock away. But a lot of people are asking, they're really looking forward to some idea of an automated system. Is this something you're working on in the background?
Yes, there is. There is something coming very, very soon. Pretty much ready. That is in 00 first.
Right, and the physics is quite a hard line bend, isn't it?
We've got it to work it works, but we will announce that. After that, we've done some temporary practicing. We're still in the design stage, but there will be something coming for TT.
Cool. And I want to test them first.
Of course, that's not a problem. So yes, of course. Obviously, when we do things like that, there's a lot of scenarios. We've got to make sure everything's right. So I think take a little time. Like I said, things don't happen as fast as maybe we want them to, as much as it's so, because obviously we're keeping up with customers' orders and what they want at the minute as well. That is always a priority. But getting the new stuff, and that is a priority to us.
Going back to shows and also feedback from customers, Key Model World was a bit of a different show because it had a bunch of fine scale aircraft and armoured vehicle model makers there as well. Now I noticed that the guys at Alan and Chris at Modeloo were having fun with people just in RAF gear, and there was a couple of people in there in their Panzer jackets and stuff, and making little scan models of themselves to go inside these fighting vehicles. Did you get anybody coming over to you during that period, or do you think that you're going to keep your focus on the model railway world at the moment?
We have talked about different aspects. I believe our roadmap over the next year, our main focus is still within model railways, but some of it is usable elsewhere.
Of course, I mean, that's a good answer. I've seen nice demos of dioramas of yards during the World War II and all that kind of stuff. That's sort of part and parcel of the model making, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Stuff like that and working with other things is something that we have talked about, but we want to finish out what our product releases are definitely over the next few months.
And I don't suppose you really need to, because you've got a young company that's growing very well, with a growing customer base who enjoy the products you're doing. So you're not at that stage where you might need to diversify.
No, not at all.
And the upcoming list is as long as me, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's
nothing big on the horizon, but more of the same quality and new things.
There's a few big things. The
kits are going down really well.
Yeah. Especially some of the future kits.
We've only introduced kits in the last year. 18 months,
yeah, last 18 months. Some of the kits that we've got doing, we're trying to do stuff that's different.
They're very popular, so and they're quite simple to put together, and they're very effective on a layout.
Absolutely.
So we are looking at. We've got a few kits coming, and we are expanding with the smaller gauges as well with TT, etc. And some of the projects we've got coming are quite big. There's one coming in October that's a really big one, and one of them, like the catenary project, obviously there's more expanding on that at the minute, as well as multiple gauges, and that's took off really well.
Something that I've had a number of DMs from some of my closer subscribers who know I'm going to come and talk to you guys have asked me to ask.
Yep.
Is turntables. Now, at the moment, the options for turntables at the moment is either people are scratch building or they're converting the old Hornby Triang TT one, which is massive, or they're using the Pico HOM one, which is too small for a Pacific load.
Yes.
Or there's the £400 Roco one, which I've got, fortunately.
That's very expensive.
I got mine second hand at half price.
Yeah.
But even at half price, it's a bit of a choker. But I think I've enjoyed using the Pico HOM one that I'm using on a shunting layout I'm building, because people have bought kits out for motorising them.
Yeah.
So whether or not something along those lines.
That is one thing that I can actually say, the first time I've said this, is actually in the design stage. I'll show you some things in a minute.
So long enough for a coronation class?
Yes, this is one thing that we have been aware of. So we do take feedback, and we do look at what's online and what people really do want. Yeah. Yes, we might not, as you're aware, we've got to fit things in our agendas and how we do things and keep things going. So things might not be instant, but they will be coming.
Brilliant. Okay. Right, guys, it's been great speaking to you. I know you're busy. Got anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
Big thing I want to say is thank you to all the customers, and thank you to everyone that's helped support us, and we'll just keep growing, keep doing what we can.
Excellent.
We will keep growing.
And obviously, thank you to everyone watching us on PG's TT channel.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, guys. We'll sign off now, but again, thank you very much. Thanks for taking your time.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Cheers.
So here we are at Westall Wagon Works. We're going to have a little look. Okay, a lot of what you're going to see today will be 00, but we will be having a little look, see what's happening in the TT120 range. Now this is their big testing layout. Here comes one of, I don't know what's heard of John J, actually, the Bureau of Sound. And that sounds great. I really want to build one of these in my garage. I'm going up. Right. Eventually you'll see it come out of here. There's John. Here's the way, John. There you go. We've got down here just the starts of a little TT thing that they're playing with. This is to show off their products. Although whether they actually fit a TT120 lane in here, well, yet to be seen. Now, John, why are you here? Just to play? Because you're enjoying yourself?
No, I've got some bits that I'm doing with him. I come to get some bits for a little engine shed, and Chris is doing me some little custom lenses for the side of my shed. So yeah.
Excellent.
Of course, why not? You know?
Well, yeah, why not come and play?
Why not come and play? Yeah.
Ian gives away for the camera. There you go. You'll possibly speak to Ian if you ever phone this place up. He seems to be answering the phones most of the day. When he's not playing trains, that is.
First time to actually give that a good run.
So, if you do want to pop down to Westall Wagon Works, you're going to see some guys having some fun, invariably. Now, obviously, this is their main focus is 00. I'll have a quick flyby of a lot of their stuff painted up to show you how good they can look. What I should be asking the guys in a short while is whether or not we've got some new stuff coming over from 00 into TT120. Like, one of the things a lot of us are interested in is the overhead line equipment and the catenary they've got with the magnet system holding everything in place. Here's an example of it. Well, all of this here lives on a magnet. So if you knock it, you can put it back, or you can remove it if you want to change the era. Also, the wiring system, I believe, is also magnetic, so that can be taken off and moved. You can pick the wire up and come. And I love that little station. I want to see one of those in TT120 soon. Be perfect for a DMU if Revolution are watching. Over here, look, it's colour coded. This is the green O-gauge stuff. Made of fantastic. There's the Napier out of the Deltic. You should see one of those being worked on my club channel, SDRM. A visit to Westall wouldn't be complete without looking at the Hunt couplings. We'll be talking about these Hunt couplings and their origins later on, or perhaps earlier, if I put that in front. Here's the ever-growing TT120 range. There'll be links below for some of these, and we'll be looking at some of the new products soon. It's a very busy place, lots of people working here. Just say hello. Some of this stuff is what I'd be really interested in seeing come forward in the in TT120, particularly for that 80s, 90s, and going into the modern era. Also, these are perfectly fine to be used in heritage lines, mixed running places like the North Yorkshire Moors Railway.
Well,
I had a brilliant day. I hope you guys have found that illuminating. It's crazy that these guys have only been around for like 4 years or something, but it's I think the fact that they've been successful, I think is a mark of actually the effort that they've put into it. And anybody who's a customer of Westall Wagon Works will know what great customer service they get and what great products they've got. I think we'll leave it at that. All right. So listen, don't forget to please like and subscribe. Poke Peach in the face, and Jim will chuck some videos on at the end. Or one of those may well be my new little series for Scarborough and District Railway Modelers Club, of which I'm a member, and we're doing a bit of we're doing a little series of looking at layouts for exhibitions that the club's making. One of which is a TT121, the new, improved Marwar Junction. You'll only see it there. So you need to get over there, like and subscribe, and leave a pleasant comment if you wish. Take care. Cheery bye.
And that's all there is to tell. I'll be on my way now, sir. I've got urgent business in the south. I have to meet a man at Marwar Junction.